Welcome back everybody. Vlogmas day number 15, I'm pretty sure. It's the day we're gonna make cookies, all right? So what we've got in the bowl right now is 2 cups of butter, which is 4 sticks, and 2 cups of sugar that I have creamed, okay? We have 4 cups of flour and 1.5 cups of cocoa. The cocoa I sifted so that we don't get lumps in it. Then we have 3 eggs and 3 teaspoons of vanilla. There's also a teaspoon of salt in there. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cream the butter and the eggs together until it gets nice and fluffy, and then we're gonna slowly add in the dry. So this part will speed up a little bit and we'll listen to some Christmas music. You're welcome. Bring you guys over to the counter here in just a second. Look how good that looks, right? That is probably one of the biggest hit cookies that we've ever had, is the chocolate sugar cookie. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come around over here to the other part of the counter where I have more room, and we are going to wrap these up. So let's take a little trip. Okay, here we go. Now, all right. I'm gonna move these things out of my way. I have all the things out right now, so my counter is a hot, hot mess. All right, we're gonna put some plastic wrap right here. And the Lord said, let there be light. That's the new kitchen light. I'll show you guys here in just a minute. The light over our kitchen table decided it wanted to die and we had to replace it. So we have a new one, and I made sure that I got one that was gonna give me more light than what I had with the last one. So that one's definitely better. All right, we are literally just gonna grab this stuff. It's very thick. Okay, just like that. Get a knife. Get all that off. I usually make 1 batch of each. 1 batch of the almond cookies and 1 batch of the chocolate cookies. This makes a lot more than you might think that it does. Get the rest of this out of here. Now see, when I'm really smart, I make the white ones first, and then I make the chocolate ones after, but we didn't do that this time, so. All right, which means we gotta wash out the bowl, because we don't want chocolate in our vanilla. All right, I'm pretty sure I got all the chocolate goodness out of there. Yeah, that's pretty empty. All right. Now, probably did not get enough cling wrap, and I did not. Fold it over to smush it down. We're definitely going to need more cling wrap. I did not get near large enough of a piece. This time we're going to turn it that way. And make sure that we have it good and covered. All right. This puppy is going to go into the refrigerator for a couple hours, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do the same thing for the almond cookies. So hang tight and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So we made the almond, which was exactly the same way that we made the chocolate. This was 2 cups of butter, 2 cups of sugar. It was 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1/4 of a teaspoon of almond emulsion, which is like this kind of thing. It's not almond extract, it's almond emulsion. It's a lot stronger, so it doesn't take as much. Teaspoon of salt, 5 3/4 cup of flour. These are Pinterest recipes. I will have them linked at the top. These are tried and true recipes. I literally have used them every year for just about ever, in case you wanted to know. And it is these 2 recipes. I know it's been years and years and years, however long Pinterest has been around. That's probably about as long as I have done this recipe. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to wrap this up real tight. We're going to have these things take a nap in the fridge. We're going to clean the house a little bit while we're waiting on these things to get cold. And then we will come back and we will roll out some cookies, no doubt. We will listen to music while we do those things and more than likely speed those up. Otherwise, this video will be 3 hours long. So say night-night to the almond cutout cookies, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, guys, welcome back. This is our array of cookie cutters that we're gonna do. We've got a couple of different versions of snowflakes, kind of medium sized. We like those. We've got a gingerbread man, but if you turn him upside down, now he's a reindeer face. You're welcome. I bet you guys didn't know that. We've got a legit gingerbread man, just so that we have it. We've got a cute little stocking. Choo-choo train. Oh, gotta go that way. A cute bell. A snowman. Another gingerbread. And or, now you can probably see that better. Can you, there we go. Well, let me turn him that way. See, this would be his antlers. These would be his ears, and that's his nose. See? Isn't that cute? That is adorable. We got a Christmas tree. We got a puppy paw. Let me put that there so you can see that. Puppy paw, because we have puppies. We have a doggy bone, because we have puppies. We have a puppy, because we have puppies. We got a cute little sleigh. That's adorbs. A candy cane. Try to leave those on there so that you can see them. We've got a cute little star. We like that. And then we got a rocky horse. Then I have a fun thing that we're gonna do. We're gonna move these all over. The prince just bought me a kiss. That was very sweet of him. This is one of my favorites. This is called the Stackable. And this is a teddy bear. You have this ring, which is, let me move it here. The back of his head, or the back of his face. See, that's the back of his face, and then this cookie cutter you can see is for his eyes, and then you've got that one for the nose. So you stack them all up, and you have a 3D teddy bear. It is the cutest thing ever. The kids always love it, so we always do it. It's a lot of cookie, but we do it anyway. And a motorcycle, just in case somebody decides they want to. There we go. All right, that was my joke for the day. So we're gonna move all that stuff over. I'm gonna move my kiss. I'm gonna take a drink of my sugar-free chai because I am off fasting right now. Oh, that's delicious. And let's go ahead and get us some cookie dough. These have been sitting in the fridge for a little while. And what we're going to do is we're going to flour this bench nicely so that it doesn't stick. We are going to cut a little piece off. We're going to kind of move this over here. I have just washed all my counters yet again. We use my handy dandy bench scraper that I also use to smooth my cakes, all that kind of stuff with. You all know that I do it. Don't take a big amount, and here's the reason why. You don't want to keep working one piece of dough over and over and over and over. It makes your cookies very tough. Now, some people don't care if their cookies are tough because they're cookies and they're delicious anyway. I, however, care that my cookies are tough. I want them to not be tough. So work in small batches. We have the oven on at 350 degrees. There we go. We're gonna kind of, it's a little hard, which is fine. We want that. We want the butter to be kind of cold. We're gonna try to get it into as much of a circle as you possibly can. This is why you need to work out. You need them good guns. All right. You want to kind of not have big, huge cracks in it if you can. And then just start rolling. We don't want these real thick, but we also don't want them paper thin. Some of these have indentions on them, so we want those things to show up. Some of them don't. How thick do they need to be? Maybe about 1/8 of an inch, I think. Something around there. Now you see this is not a real big piece of dough. Pick it up and move it around so that your dough doesn't stick to the bottom, because you want to be able to cut these and pick them straight up and put them straight on the pan, okay? Now, I'm not going to film me cutting every single one of these, but we're going to go through each one of the cutters on each one of them so that you guys can see what we're doing. I suggest you flour. I leave my little thing of AP flour that's in this container right over here. There is no clean way to do this, and anybody that tells you that there is are liars. Just embrace the mess. And then what I do is I take that cookie cutter and I put it over here so that I know what I've done. Yes, I lose track. I try to put my cookie cutters in a way that we're not wasting any more dough than we have to. And by wasting all these little tiny scraps, we have to fold them back in, right? So that we can re-roll them. And remember what I said, the more you keep rolling this, the tougher that cookie dough gets. So you want to try to think about where you're putting your cutters, okay? When you put them on there, to try to get the most possible out of your dough. That one looks pretty good. Cookie sheet. See these cookie sheets? See how nice and black they are? It's called seasoned, not dirty, right? Like we don't need anything on these. You can space them kind of close together just simply because these are not going to spread. Remember what I told you. There's nothing in here that's going to spread. So you don't want them touching each other, but you can kind of put them a little bit close because they're not gonna spread, like I said. If we have another small one, we can put him there. Okay, you kind of see how we've done that? It's a lot of cookies on that little tray. We're gonna put both of those trays in at the same time, so let me fill this one up. We will go ahead and start working on these. Our little paw prints, our little choo-choo train, our Christmas tree. I would sing, but you all would kick me off of YouTube if you heard me sing. I can't carry a tune in a bucket, people. I'm sorry, it is what it is. And then our gingerbread man. So literally, we got all of our cookies that were on our cookie cutters things. We got them all on 2 trays. There we go. So these are gonna go into the oven at 350 degrees for 9 minutes. Now understand that's my oven. My 350 may not be your 350. That's kind of one of the things when you do recipes, you got to figure out what your own oven does. People don't tell you that when they're going, oh, just do the recipe and you can't figure out why your cookies burn. Me personally, if you've not done a whole lot of baking, you don't really understand how your oven's working, put it at 350, check them in 5 minutes and look at them. You don't want them doughy. You want just a little tiny bit of color on these, okay? Just a little, but you want them to be firm. In my oven, it's 350 degrees for 9 minutes, and they come out perfect every single time. You may need 7 minutes. You may need 11 minutes. It just depends on how your oven works. Learn your oven. How do you learn? Put stuff in there and figure out how it goes. All right, in the oven. Nine minutes on the clock. We'll come back when we pull them out of the oven. All righty, timer is now going off. So we're going to take that out. We have some lovely cookies, as you can see. They are beautiful. They're a little browner than what I normally do, so I'm actually going to say we're going to cut it down to about 7. This is why you test your oven, people. We're going to let those cool for just a little bit before we move them over to the cooling rack. So we'll be back in a few. All right, guys, we're back. We are now on to the chocolate dough. Hopefully you guys can see this with these with these dark counters. Let me turn this. Yeah, there we go, that way just a little bit. So we're on to the chocolate dough now. We have done all of the almond. Now with the chocolate dough, you need to really watch it because you kind of can't tell if it gets too brown, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a dark dough. So mine ended up being 8 minutes at 350. So you see, even my own oven, I had to adjust the time. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. Yes, it's the same oven that I used last year, but I still have no idea why. So it's just one of those things, you know, you just need to keep check on that kind of stuff because you never know. You never know. This is my first batch of chocolate cookies. If you can see that, yeah, gorgeous. Last batch of the almond cookies, beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna continue to roll out cookies because you've kind of seen me do this again. And we will come back and in a little bit after all the cookies are baked, and we will move on to buttercream. And if you guys are really good people, right? You've been really good and you've behaved, and Santa says that you are not naughty, right? You guys are on the good list because he checks it twice. I might actually share my buttercream recipe with you. Yeah, the whole thing. I might just give it to you. But you're gonna have to check back, okay? So come on back here in just a little bit and we'll talk about it. Good morning, good morning. It's the next day, but this is gonna be the end to Vlogmas day number 15. The sun is just barely coming up. Yes, this is technically cookie day is going to end Vlogmas day number 15, and 16 is actually going to be later on today. You're welcome. But I did tease you at the end of the last segment that if y'all wanted to stick with me, I will actually share my buttercream recipe. I have told you all for years. I've showed you how to make it, but I did not give you the ingredients. Merry Christmas. From my kitchen to yours, I'm gonna share my buttercream with you. So if y'all wanna know how to make it, you better remember it's in this video. All right, okay. We're gonna go ahead and come on over here. Yes, I'm still in my jammies, y'all. I got my, here, let me show you. I got my Grinch jammies on. I love these. They're like super soft, and yeah, and they got the Grinch all over them. So, all right, let's come on over here. My kitchen looks better. It was a disaster yesterday from making cookies. So we'll show you said cookies. I don't think I have enough. We're probably going to end up making more of the chocolate ones, but we'll see. So let's come over here. We're going to set you down right there. We're going to bring you down to the mixer. Oh, there you go. That's the ticket. All right. Now, you can do this a couple of different ways. It's totally up to you on how you would like to do it. So I'm going to get my butter. I have to go to the store again. I'm going to be mad. Pretty sure I got all my stuff. All right. Unsalted butter. Okay, that's what you want to use. We are going to make what is considered a double batch of buttercream. In my house, it's a batch because I don't make anything any smaller than this, generally because that's what I need. So we need 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks. Our fat is going to be 3.5. Let me think for a second. I haven't had any coffee yet. Hang on. Yeah, so it's 4.5 cups of fat to 2 bags of confectionery sugar. So I will do 1 of those cups of butter, and then I will do the other 3.5 of either high ratio, or you can use standard vegetable shortening. Either one is fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Yes, I do like high ratio if I have it. I actually don't have it today, so we are just going to use straight up vegetable shortening, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in your game, as long as you make sure you flavor it well. That's the big thing. I'm going to soften this butter up a little bit because it's a little too hard. We'll get 15 seconds on the clock. We'll go ahead and get our, actually we'll do 4. Yes, I play around with my recipe. All right, so here's what we're going to use. We are going to use imitation clear vanilla. I use this because I don't want to change the color of my buttercream, right? Since I can't get the vanilla butter anymore, we are going to add butter. I know there's butter in there, but I like the buttery flavor. And then my secret is princess dough. Yes, I know, that's irony for you. You're welcome. This gives a tiny little bit of a citrus backtone to it, and I like it. Generally, I will do 2 tablespoons of this, 2 tablespoons of this, and 1 tablespoon of that. We're gonna put that in the milk. We'll come over here real quick, show you what we're doing. Okay, I have almost 2/3 of a cup of, again, I like to use the non-dairy creamer. It has some extra vanilla flavor to it, but I like it because it's non-dairy and it makes it a little more stable, a little more forgiving. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons. Don't get stingy with your flavoring. You want it to taste like something. 2 tablespoons of vanilla. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons of butter. Oh, that was the butter. I'm sorry. That was the butter. My bad. This is the vanilla. Sorry. It's supposed to be clear, but it's not. I think I added some other stuff to it. It'll be fine. And then 1 tablespoon of the princess dough. There we go. Now, we're going to put this in the microwave and we're going to heat it up. Probably about 30 seconds. We want it to be warm enough to melt the butter and the shortening. I've showed you the step, just never gave you these things before. So, by doing that, we ensure that there are no lumps inside of the buttercream as far as the fat goes. If you don't mix those things really, really, really well, you can get chunks of shortening or chunks of butter, which is not very palatable if you get a big chunk like that in your mouth. So what this does is it's going to look like a god-awful soupy mess when we start this out, but then it will congeal back to a very nice, smooth consistency. So we are going to turn this back on, not very high, okay? And we are going to add in the milk. All right. Now, if it's too stiff, we can always add a little bit more, half and half. But I start out with right at about 2/3 of a cup. And we're usually about where we need to go. Now, again, that's for a double batch. Keep that in mind. Now, once the liquid has went in, turn it up. And we're gonna let this go for a few. We'll let that go for a minute before we add any more liquid into it. You see how chunky and it doesn't look all that great, right? There you go. But it will. Now, if you'll notice, you can't see that paddle in there. right? You also don't see any gaps or holes when it's mixing. This is really key if you want a very smooth buttercream. We're not trying to whip any air into this, because if you whip air, what's air? Air is bubbles. Exactly. You got it. So the key to making really good buttercream, if you can't make a really large batch, then you need to have a smaller bowl where you can literally cover all the way to the top of that paddle where you cannot see it, right? And then the big thing is let it go. We will literally mix this probably close to 5 minutes. You just keep letting it go and keep letting it go. Now I'll stop and stir it, and then we'll let it do this thing again. But we're trying to achieve a solid top of buttercream with no open holes, so that it's literally just mixing and not whipping air in. That's one of the big secrets to making very smooth buttercream. I think we're pretty dang good. Oh, look at that. Yes, ma'am. Look how smooth and silky and beautiful that is. You are welcome. That's it. That is the famous baby smooth, delicious buttercream. You are welcome. All right, let's bring it back up. Let's close it on out. So there you go. The famous buttercream that I would not share. Again, my Christmas present from my kitchen to yours. So we'll go ahead and end Vlogmas Day number 15 right here. Y'all know the rules. Stay out of trouble, but if you can't, don't get caught. Y'all stay safe, stay clean, and have a perfect day. Love you, bye.